Good morning, guys, and welcome to Unique Not Different with me, Shamla. And today I have Lisa Ghany. Lisa Ghany is the Managing Director and founder of Exceptional Events. Lisa Ghany is also a director and the PRO of the Down Syndrome Family Network. So today we are going to talk to Lisa about her incredible personal life and what she has accomplished and why she chose to intertwine between her success and helping the disabled community. So good morning, Lisa. How are you doing?
Good morning, Shamla. Always nice to be here with you.
Same here. It's always a pleasure to have you. So in terms of, your career, and you are a subject matter expert in corporate communication, marketing, and corporate events, right? You have done exceptional in your career. What would you say is your most pride accomplishment?
Well, Shamla, this has been a long career, and there've been lots and lots of great moments, along the way. I can't say that I value one over the other, but I think what really always makes me extremely happy is when, we are able to meet the client's expectations and go beyond that, and also to enjoy the process, because that is the major thing with work. You've got to do what you love. And I think when you love it, you bring that passion to it, and you're always excited about what you're doing. And I am still always excited about the work that I do for my clients. I'm always ready to see it happen and see them experience the satisfaction of culmination of many months of planning and discussions about what they really want to do.
So as I mentioned, you had many, milestones in your career. So what made you or inspired you to intertwine and want to go into, I guess, service to the disabled community through your support, as well as leveraging your network to show, okay, and in particular, the Down Syndrome Family Network, to show, okay, through my network, I could bridge that gap and show the actual potential of persons with disabilities and what they're capable of doing. And they don't have to be in separation and have their own thing, but could actually function, in a well-established, I guess, sector.
Yeah. Well, I think that, most of the times when you see someone involved in an NGO, it is because they've had a personal experience that with that cause, and that has kind of affected them in a way that they deeply want to help. Many times it comes in the beginning from a charitable place where you feel that you want to give back, and like you say, you want to serve, and being in PR and communications and event management and stuff, it's always been about service to others. Even though you might be paid for it, it is still putting the client in front and doing what you have to do. With the Down Syndrome Family Network, again, it came from a very personal place. In fact, my father, he was a medical doctor, an ophthalmologist, and he had a stroke very early in his life, in his career, in his 40s. And I grew up with my father, and he became paralyzed down one side, and he was disabled for the rest of his life. He passed away when he was 80. And I think in all his humility, my father taught me so many, many lessons without actually having to speak. He through his life and seeing what he had to experience, going from his prime and being top of his game as a surgeon, and then now being disabled and not being able to function in the capacity that he was in. He was also an Island Scholar winner, so he was a brilliant man. And I would see people speaking to him as though he wasn't in the room, because they wouldn't talk directly to him. They would talk to me and ask him, if we went to a restaurant, they would ask me, what does he want to drink or what would he like to eat? And he's right there. And, you know, in those days too, access was a huge problem. You know, if we carried him anywhere in his wheelchair, you know, we would have to put him through the trauma of lifting him upstairs and, you know, and different things like that. Even going to a place that he loved, like Maracas Beach, there was no facility to get him onto the beach, you know, so we would have to lift his wheelchair and take him down to the beach, get the lifeguards to come. It was a whole drama session then.
So I'm sure with that, you know, the access, because he used to feel such a, like, not a burden per se, but things could have been easier for him. I'm sure.
Of course. And I mean, you know, from being in a wheelchair yourself, even having people lift that wheelchair is a fear, you know, can they drop you? You know, what are they doing? You know, so, you know, those little things. And then, as I say, the whole humility of this powerful man now becoming, you know, dependent on everybody else, because facilities were not in place to assist him with re-entering that world of work as a professional. They just were not there, you know? And then, of course, I did have a very personal relationship with someone who had a son with Down syndrome. And also that opened my eyes to the world of intellectual disabilities and the limits that we place on persons with intellectual disabilities that cause them, you know, to really live the life that they live. And if we just opened up the opportunities, there would be so much more that they can do and would do. And we've seen that with the network.
Right. So you have championed a lot of initiatives through the Down Syndrome Family Network, right? This year, being no different. Can you tell us, you have, you know, Down Syndrome Awareness Day coming up on the 21st. Can you let us know a little bit about what's going on next week through the Down Syndrome event at Selfless?
Sure. Well, every year for the last 10 years, we've had the World Down Syndrome, the United Nations World Down Syndrome Conference at the Hyatt. It's free for anyone, and we want the general public to come out because, you know, they are the ones who really need to understand a lot about Down syndrome and disability, because we champion disabilities, you know, not just persons with Down syndrome. This year, the theme is with us, not for us. So again, you know, pushing that whole concept of persons doing it for themselves. You know, a lot of times people who don't have a disability speak on behalf of persons with disabilities. They can speak. They want to be heard. So we are trying to put that at the forefront. And then it also this year focuses a lot on the legal capacity of persons with Down syndrome and other disabilities for them to make their own choices, which again comes back to communication. How do we communicate with persons with disabilities so that they can understand and therefore make the right choice, you know?
Can you tell us quickly in about 30 seconds, you know, what is going on next week? Tuesday, next week, Wednesday, for the fashion show. Yeah. And where persons can
so we have 30 seconds. So we have the conference on Tuesday at the Hyatt. All the information is on the Down Syndrome Family Network Facebook page and Instagram. On Wednesday, we have a fabulous fashion show featuring models from the Down Syndrome Network, along with our guest model from Toronto, Canada, Monica Myers, who is a person with Down syndrome who has modeled for Toronto Fashion Week and New York. And we also have our local designers, Claudia Pegas, Radical Designs, The Cloth, Eclipse Eli, Lisa Faye, Silks, all of them coming together to showcase their fashion under this umbrella with our own Miss World, Giselle Laronde West. We have Tajay Ramsey and Ashe Abram, who are going to be on the catwalk as well. And we have some surprises for you as well. So that's the fashion show on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we go to Tobago. And everything that we do in Trinidad, we do in Tobago.
Definitely, you cannot leave out Tobago as well. It's one island. So Lisa Ghany, I want to thank you so much for coming, for your service, for sharing this, and also, merging the gap between your career and helping the disabled community in general. So thank you so much for your incredible service. And I guess your demeanor is such a, you have very strong demeanor. So thanks again.
Thank you, Shamla. And you are such a great role model for, all persons who, regardless of ability, because as you say, unique, but not, different, but unique.
Thank you. So guys, with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Unique and Different. Until next week, next week, Tuesday, is World Down Syndrome Day, so we have a special feast for you all. Until next week, guys, be good, do good. Bye.
Bye.